Defense Attorney Dwane Cates joining us, and criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Randy Zellen. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. So, Randy, if I could start with you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Talk to me about this case, or the potential case, right? There are no announcements from the DA's office about an indictment, at least in an official way. There has been an invitation from the grand jury for Trump to testify, which he did not go on and do. But the former president did come out and say, I will be indicted and I will be arrested on Tuesday. He did that on his social media platform. If that does play out, what could be the potential charge?
Well, it sounds as if, and it's a great question, and we seem to be so caught up on everything else but the simple things. So the simple thing is this. He's going to be charged, as far as I can tell, with basically making false entries in his business records. And that is a very fancy way of saying, okay, I have a problem. I'm making all of these payments to Michael Cohen, and those payments are to keep Stormy Daniels' mouth shut. I can't put that in as an entry, so I've got to pretend that I'm paying Michael Cohen a legal fee to reimburse him for the payments that I'm making to Stormy Daniels, because I can't let anybody know that I'm paying someone to keep her mouth shut, because that would be a violation of election laws. So the books are false. He's being charged with making those false entries. It is a felony as opposed to a misdemeanor, because he's doing that in order to avoid the federal election law, the laws, and he's violating those laws by making these payments to shut someone up so it doesn't screw up his election. Lord only knows where the money's coming from. That's where the charge actually is coming from. They're owning President Trump. They want to get him on. The best they can do is making these false entries in his books.
Interesting. And again, upgrading it from a misdemeanor to a felony in this case because it's got ties, again, potentially to a campaign donations election gearing up for, I believe at that time, the 2016 election. Dwane, we'll bring you into this here. It's not even brought forward yet. And keep in mind, Mike Carter, our reporter, was setting up sort of the situation with this grand jury that they were going to hear from Robert Costello, potentially, again, that Trump attorney who would sort of dissuade the jurors from listening to the testimony that Michael Cohen had said, sort of paint a picture of who he is as an individual. I mean, is this set in stone yet?
Well, it should be, because, you know, the grand jury needs to hear any exculpatory evidence that Donald Trump has, and I believe that this witness to the grand jury will provide exculpatory evidence and maybe talk the grand jury out of handing down an indictment.
Again, yeah, something to follow there. Will this indictment go through? Again, there's a lot to watch with the grand jury. It seems as if you would find out potentially tomorrow or maybe on later in the week. It's very murky at this point. But also, we have to go, but the statute of limitations on this too, that is also something to watch for as well. Gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Dwane Cates, Randy Zellen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, China's President Xi Jinping in Moscow meeting with Russian President Vladimir